I'm back with another episode of Baseless Babble. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on why my opinions are shit. So, the NFL season is upon us, so I'm going to be. Therefore, it's time to look at the week 1 games and predict how they're going to go. The first game, Thursday night, tonight, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles reigning Super Bowl champions. And Dallas in some turmoil, no pun intended. I would like the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. That would be cool, but I don't see it happening, so I'm going to have to take the Eagles. The next game is in Brazil. Now, if we look back to last year, the game in Brazil, I think, was the Eagles and the Packers. Um, because the turf, the grass down there, was kind of fucked up and slippery for some reason. Jordan Love sprained his MCL, so that let's hope that nobody gets injured and that the turf is better. This game is the theme of the week. That's why there's a picture of some guy in a Brazil stand. Don't know what stadium that is, but that's going to be the theme of the week. It's going to be in the background. Um, so yeah, in Brazil, we got Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to bomb this season. I think they're going to be the phone Chargers. I think the Chiefs are. I think the Chiefs have doubters, which is kind of weird. I'd probably take the Chiefs in that game. On Sunday, we've got Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Hmm. I like Baker. I like the weapons down there. I like the defense for Tampa Bay. You know, blitz heavy. Todd Bowles. I think they're gonna ice up Michael Penix Jr. And you'll notice that the Falcons. I didn't actually put their logo there. I just put the letter F for the Atlanta F to pay respects. I think their season's already over. Should have kept Kirk Cousins at the helm. Next game, Cincinnati, Cleveland at Cleveland. We got Joe Flacco and the boys. I like that. I like that. Miles Garrett. Okay. See how I'm. For me, I'm kind of curious how the run game over at Cleveland's going to be with Jerome Ford. And I'm also curious to see if Joe Burrow can lead the team back to the Super Bowl when he probably still doesn't have an O line, probably has a worse run game this year, and the Cincinnati defense never gets fixed, right? So curious. Who would I choose there? I'm gonna go Browns. I'm gonna go Cleveland Browns. I think Cincinnati's favored by like six by 2 field goals. Um, but I think they're gonna start the season slow for whatever reason. Next game, Miami at Indianapolis Colts. Um, I think the Colts are going to be a super dark horse team this year. I don't know how far they're going to get because obviously it's Daniel Jones, and he didn't prove much with the Giants. But I like what they got going on over there. And I'm also skeptical of the Miami run game. Uh, Devon Achane's really fast, but can he be the workhorse that? Well, I'm a believer in workhorse running backs, but is their run game going to be as effective as it was in previous seasons? We'll see. I think Miami also got rid of their top cornerback. Forgot that guy's name, but he's really good. They're at the Colts, so I'm gonna take the Colts. It's supposed to be a super close game. Miami could blow them out of the water, but I think the Colts are going to do good. I think maybe Jonathan Taylor will have another good season. So yeah, I'll take the Colts. Next game, Las Vegas at New England. We got Drake May and the boys. Hmm. I think that Las Vegas is going to be a more professional football team because I believe in Pete Carroll. I don't know how much Tom Brady has to do with the Raiders, but like obviously he's going to have some influence maybe. I think Sean Gentry is going to, I think Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, they already know each other. They know how to run an offense and they're going to run the fucking ball. Raiders always play hard. They got Max Crosby. Max Crosby's going to give Drake May nightmares. Um, yeah, I'm just not. I don't really believe in New England this season, so I'm gonna take Vegas there. Arizona at New Orleans. I hate Spencer Rattler. I don't. Most people I want to do well, but Spencer Rattler, I'm just gonna say I don't want him to do well, and my opinion doesn't matter in his eyes. He can take that personal or whatever. He's making millions of dollars, and I'm not. So he can shove it. I'm taking Arizona. I think Arizona's more of a complete team, especially since the Saints don't have Honey Badger anymore. They cut some guy on the defense that they probably shouldn't have cut. And what's that guy's name? Cam Jordan? Yeah, like he's getting old, man. He's in it for the money. Should have stuck down the Drew Brees path. Uh, Not saying that they should have kept Drew Brees, but like you should have found like a comparable QB to Drew Brees. You should have kept building the offense through Alvin Kamara. Oh yeah, you know what? Fuck the Saints. I hate Taysom Hill. I fucking hate Taysom Hill. I hate everything he stands for. Fuck the Saints. All right. Next game, Pittsburgh, New York. I think Justin Fields is going to struggle this year. I don't think New York has that many weapons. I think their O line's probably going to suck dick, which means Brees Hall's not going to be as effective, which means that the Jets are going to lose, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to go right up into MetLife week one. He's going to drop 3 or 4 fucking passing touchdowns, and he's going to say adios. As long as he doesn't pull his Achilles or tear his Achilles on the MetLife turf again, he's going to absolutely smoke the Jets. Hopefully, Sauce Gardner learns how to tackle this season. That would be nice. And yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh. Next game, New York at Washington. Now, Washington is heavily favored by a touchdown. Um, I think that they're an elite playoff caliber team. I think maybe the Giants are like wild card contenders. I don't think we're like playoff caliber, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm a Giants fan. Um, uh, I like am obligated to root for the Giants because I was born here. So my argument is that Jaden Daniels is too prepared for this week one game because all summer he's been in the VR headset. He knows everything that's going to happen this game because of the VR headset, which is going to lead him to be overconfident in week one. And the Giants are going to punish that because Russell Wilson's going to throw some fucking moon balls and show that he's a veteran quarterback. And he's going to be like, yo, Jaden Daniels, like, you don't know shit about the NFL. This is only your year two. I'm fucking Super Bowl winner, fucking Russell Wilson, and I've finally got another good receiver to play with in Malik Neighbors. So, yeah, we're taking the Giants. Eat my ass. Um, Next game, Carolina at Jacksonville. So here's how I look at Carolina. They're the worst team in the league. However, I would like Bryce Young to succeed. I think Leggett is pretty interesting. I liked Chuba Hubbard. Um, I think it's going to be a competitive game. It's going to be divisional. Um, Really depends on what type of defense Jacksonville has this year, how they're going to utilize their run game snaps. I think Trevor Lawrence is kind of boring. Like he's a very bland quarterback. He came in and he only won football games his entire life, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm on a bad team, and these are my first loss," and then he had to learn the hard way. And then like he kind of showed up like towards the end of that season stat wise. Maybe like the next season he played well, but then last season he was real bad. And that's kind of a bad sign for me because like he had enough of a support cast around him that he shouldn't have played as bad as he did. So I'm not sure what's going through his head, which is why I'm gonna take Carolina. Okay. Uh, Tennessee versus at Denver. I think Denver is playoff caliber. I think they're a legit team on all sides of the ball. I think Tennessee, I don't know what their defense is going to be like. I'm sure, I don't feel like they have stars or really, veterans that are still at like a good age. But I'm sure Mike Vrabel will be able to cook something. Is he still there? Is he still the head coach? I think he is. I think he'll be able to cook something up. Uh, Offense wise, I like Cam Ward. I like the receivers they have there. Tony Pollard, I'm a little skeptical about, and the Tennessee O line, I'm skeptical about. So I think Denver's going to eat them up. I'll take Denver for that. Denver's favored by like 9 points. Uh, Next game, San Francisco, Seattle. San Francisco, Brock Purdy, potential MVP candidate. Um, More like ironically, but maybe not. You never know. They've got Christian McCaffrey over there. He looks healthy. And I've kind of just had the thought today that the 49ers, I've never heard, I'm sure it's been done before, but I've never heard them use the phrase the gold rush in reference to their run game. Uh, I mean, it's kind of a layup, so I'm sure they've done it before, but yeah. Also, the key in this game for me is how well is Cooper Kupp going to play on the Seattle side because I guess he'll be spread out all over the place, but if he's in the slot a lot, I think he's going to be versing Fred Warner, which everybody in the league is afraid of, but he kind of looked like a bum last year, and maybe the year before that he kind of looked like a bum, but everyone else is afraid of him. So, yeah, I'd like to see how Seattle plays with no Pete Carroll, no Geno Smith, no Russell Wilson. Um, I don't know who the head coach is, but like hopefully it's more pass heavy. Hopefully Sam Darnold could get comfortable. Hopefully the O line for Seattle actually defends their quarterback for the first time in 10 years. And I think the Seattle defense is actually not bad. So probably take San Francisco, unfortunately, but there could be a surprise here. Um, Detroit Lions at Green Bay. Everyone thinks the Lions are going to have a terrible season, which I think is strange. Now, I think in their division, the Bears have gotten better, the Vikings have gotten slightly worse, and Green Bay is about the same. So maybe the Lions won't have as good of a season they did last year, but there's still a very high scoring offense, potentially, like with their ceiling. Um, could be a low scoring game, though, here against Green Bay. They're at Green Bay. They have had some defensive woes. I don't I don't believe that their corners and safeties are like super top tier talent. I think they are definitely beatable. So I'd probably go Green Bay here, but I'm not happy about it. Like I want to root for the Lions. I want to say the Lions are going to win, but I'd say it's more likely that Green Bay is going to win. And the odds makers are giving Green Bay the slight edge. That could just be because they're home, but I'm talking the X's and O's. I think Green Bay might have a slight edge. Um, Houston at Los Angeles Rams. Uh, Stroud looks good. What's going on with the run game there? No Joe Mixon, so it's gonna be Nick Chubb on a broken leg. Sean McVay is always cooking, man. Like he's always got some plan in mind. Hopefully Matthew Stafford plays. Want to see what Devontae Adams does for Los Angeles. Houston has a great defense, though. Los Angeles, I don't think they have a great defense, but schematically, like their defense is pretty good. Usually, like their coordinator is, they keep it creative over there. I like that. Um, Man, this might be the hardest game of the week to predict. I'm gonna say that Houston will win based off of the mobility of CJ Stroud compared to the mobility of Matthew Stafford. Even though I think Matthew Stafford throws the football better because I've been watching him my whole life and he's got, he's hard to beat. Like he is the original gunslinger. I don't know if he's the original, but he's my original gunslinger. Next game, Baltimore in Buffalo. Probably the game of the week for a lot of people. That's why it's prime time at 8 p.m. Lamar, I think he's got an ankle issue. I don't really care about that. He's still going to be Lamar. Um, the Ravens defense was bitching at each other last season a lot. So we'll see if they continue to bitch at each other this season, which is like some childish shit. How about you guys just like, win some playoff games and go to the Super Bowl? Whatever. Apparently the Bills have no safeties. If Matt Milano's a force to be reckoned with, I don't even know if he's on the team or if he's healthy or what. He's been in the season, he's been in the league for a while, so he's like probably pretty old now. So say Flowers is just gonna fucking break his ankles. Um, that being said, I probably wouldn't bet against Josh Allen. I think he's poised to make the Super Bowl. At least for me, I think the Bills belong in the Super Bowl this year. It's not their best team, and I think Sean McDermott is absolutely on the hot seat if he doesn't do anything this year because most of their rosters have been pretty fine, and Josh Allen is playing out of his fucking mind usually. So I think if they don't succeed this year, Sean McDermott has to go. I will take the Bills because they're at home and Josh Allen's a fucking fighter. And the last game, Monday night game, Minnesota Vikings at Chicago. I really like Chicago this season. I think Caleb Williams is going to prove a lot. I've been told that the O line's not good and that he's going to get sacked. But I think maybe, he probably grew a little bit this year as a quarterback. His vision's going to be better. His decision making is going to be better. He'll know how to evade the pass rush with his legs. Hopefully they address the line. I didn't look at any transactions for the Chicago Bears this year. And Minnesota's going to be Minnesota. I think they could play slightly worse than last season. They went 14-3 last season. They made the playoffs through the wild card spot. Um, I think yeah, I think, it's pretty hard to be like, yeah, the Vikings are going to suck because I mean, Aaron Jones is not bad at all. You've got Justin Jefferson. I think their line is fine. You've got all the other receivers are good. You got T.J. Hawkinson, who's the goat. Um, and I'm not sure who the defensive coordinator is for the Vikings, but last time I checked, it was Brian Flores. Brian Flores usually pretty good at creating a defensive plan, so maybe he'll be able to entrap Caleb Williams with his defensive schemes. But also, you don't know what Chicago's gonna do. They've got another tight end, so another like pass catching, exciting athletic tight end, and um, I don't know who the receivers there actually are because I'm still thinking it's Darnell Mooney and like Keenan Allen and shit. Okay, they got DJ Moore and then the other guy is Rome Odunze. Yeah, I like Rome Odunze a lot. Um, this is a tough one. Might be the toughest one of all of the games to predict. I'm gonna go the Chicago Bears because I think this year they're going to take a step forward compared to last year where they had more of a skeleton-like roster. Um, so I think they're going to take a step forward. I feel like Caleb Williams was doing pretty well towards the end of last year, and I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to take a step backwards until JJ McCarthy can get acclimated. Those are my predictions for week 1 of the NFL season. Make sure you drop a sub and like and comment how you feel about how these games are going to go or any of the words I said in this video. That's so exciting. Thanks for watching.